Welcome back courtside in Wise Pies Arena. The Lobos 78, Fresno State 73. That is a final. You're locked into the Lobo basketball postgame show. Our privilege now to welcome in Lobo head coach Craig Neal for the Delta Dental Coaches' comments, brought to you by Delta Dental of New Mexico. Congratulations, Coach Neal. And, the first thing you said when you sat down with us here before we got on air was loved the effort tonight, loved the way we competed.
That's the first thing I told them after the game. I just said, if you guys compete like that every night, I got no problem. And I thought it was the first game. Well, we've had some of them. I mean, we've had some games where we've been up, teams come back, been up. But I think they really stayed the course, really stayed together, weathered some storms, made some right plays. I thought we executed really well. And when we didn't get it touched inside or we left it on one side, we didn't do very well offensively. But as far as competing and guarding, it's like you guys said when I sat down, Hunter said, we would have held them under 70 and said six points in the last, minute. But I liked our effort. I thought there was some good fight in them. Mm-hmm. I thought they showed their athletic ability. I thought they showed their physicalness. And then, we had some guys. We had 4 guys in double figures, and we had some guys play well.
Coach, do you think the shakeup? I mean, what was it that then all of a sudden now the guys are? Is it because it's league, or
I think it's league. You've been around me, Hunter. You know how competitive I am, and Robert's been around me probably too much and showed how really competitive I am. But sometimes you got to do things and you got to take a chance as coaches, and it might not always work out, and it might. But I've been with O since he's ever come to the country. I've been with him that long, and I just needed to get some things straightened out in his head. I need to, there's too much going on in his head, and when I take that red jersey off him, he's not a starter. It's like a kryptonite, and I just needed to teach him a lesson. And I talked to him, met with him, and he did what I wanted him to do. And and I think you'll see Elijah back in the lineup on Sunday. I think he's playing the way he's capable of playing. I think he's not forcing anything. I think he's really trying to guard. I think he's being a hell of a teammate. And then I put Sam back in because it's the same thing. I've had the same thing. Now I don't know what I'm going to do with Dane and Sam on Sunday, but I had to do that, and I'm probably getting criticized about it. I don't know if I am or not, but I have to do things as coaches that my program stands for. And I have standards, and I have expectations, and I want this program to be as successful as anybody that's here, anybody that's in my state, anybody that's in our community, anybody here at the university. I want to be as successful as we can for the kids, not for me, but there's standards that I have to uphold, that we're going to do things a certain way, and that's what my leadership has to do. I have to be the leader, and but then they have to take it out on the floor. And I thought tonight was evident that they've been receptive.
They responded for sure. Yeah. No, and Coach, I'll just be honest. It was fun basketball to watch. Mm-hmm. When we sat here, especially in the first half before the 13-1 run, it was really fun. Mm-hmm. I mean, and the guys moved the ball. They shared it well. And, you could see the crowd just stand up and just appreciate,
yeah, our fans were awesome. We had 12,000 fans here, but, they were great. Yeah. And to have 12,000 people here, our students aren't here because they're out of school. We had 12,000 people after the loss we took at Arizona. Says a lot about our passion and about our fans, and I appreciate that, and I really do. I just want them to support my kids. They came here for a reason. I just want them to support them. I thought tonight they showed a lot of fight and showed a team that's excited to watch. And I want them to get behind them, because if we can get this place rocking again like it was tonight in certain parts of the game, we're going to be hard to beat here. We won 7-0 right now, and I'm going to be real honest. My kids thrive off this crowd. They want to see how many's here. They want to see how loud they're going to be. They talk about it. Well, I got a recruit here right now that's never seen anything like this in his entire life. And my kids talk about it. My kids, that's part of my recruiting. they talk about this crowd. They talk about our fans. They talk about the passion they bring. And tonight was a perfect example. I just want these fans to get behind them, and I think they have. I think, with the crowd we had tonight, with the students being out, I thought it was awesome for our first game. And I'm really proud of what our kids have done, and I'm really proud of the fans that showed up tonight to help us with this win.
And I know when it's like it was tonight, and you get here center court, and the Lobos make a run, and then you're asking for them, and they all stand up.
Oh yeah,
that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, and it's that way. I mean, yeah, I want to be 13-0 too, and I might have overscheduled with this group. But as a coach, you're trying to do the best thing you can for your league and try to get your RPI up. We had some games that we let get away, but now we got to go forward. It's a 0-0 slate conference season, and I like my group. And I always say that, and people always give me a hard time every time they see me. You always like your group. Well, yeah, I love my kids. That's why I recruit them. And I think they're coming into their own. Now, are they going to have some more bumps? Yeah, they could, but I think they're going to be mature enough. If they can bring that effort and that fight every night, they could have a really fun year.
Yeah. Something I mentioned to Hunter, and I wanted to ask you about it because you talked about it a few times, how you enjoyed the way some of the guards were rebounding, but you said, you know what, some of our front court guys at the 3 and the 4 and the 5 have to do a better job helping out Tim Williams rebound. And the two guys that, were part of the group that you sat down, Jet and Logwood, both crashed the glass tonight. And when you get, those 12 extra rebounds from somebody other than Tim Williams, that's huge, right?
It's more than huge. I mean, that's what we need. So, I mean, I'll never tell why I did it.
That's part of the message, though, right?
I'll never tell why I did it, but I had to do it, and I just felt it. And I think sometimes as a coach you feel things, and you have to get it back in line. And I feel like we're back in line. I think the way they reacted, the way they're letting me coach them, how hard they played, I think that's a reflection is they got it.
We knew Tim was going to bring his lunchbox.
He always does.
And he was going to get you the 17, 18 points and the 7-6 rebounds. But the play of Jalen Harris, I was really excited. I mean, he's just fun to watch, Coach. But he had 3 assists, 0 turnovers. And he was in moments on the court, especially in the second half. He was in pressure situations, bringing that ball up the court.
The stats are a little wrong, though, because they had him 5 for 5 for free throws, and he was 5 for 6.
They fixed it.
And now he had a turnover at the end. They didn't give it to him when he threw it under press.
Yes, on the inbound.
But he did. But Hunter, you're right. Yeah. I love him,
yeah.
And that's why I recruited him. I was very fortunate to get him. I think what he does when he starts the game, he brings such energy with his speed.
Yes.
I mean, some of our guys aren't able to keep up with him yet, but they're getting there. Like O's getting there. Like O's getting down the floor because he knows he's going to get it. Like he missed one tonight, but he got 2 I mean, they're starting to get it, and he's a one-man press break. Now, I couldn't use him against New Mexico State early because he just wasn't there yet. It's like Dede, his first year here. He wasn't there yet. I didn't play him until San Jose. So, but he's a one-man press break. He can get by anybody. And I like him because he wants pass first. And he doesn't have to take a lot of shots. He just wants to run the team. He's got a great personality. But, I thought Jordan Hunter gave us great minutes.
He did.
I thought he had a great spell tonight. He's going to continue to do that. He might be a guy that we need in there longer. But I thought he gave us good minutes, though. But Jalen gives us another gear that we haven't had.
Another of the guys that was part of the group that did not start for 2 games. And when he came off –
love that.
Listen to this tonight. When he came off the bench today, and Hunter pointed it out, and the numbers bore it out initially. When Elijah first stepped on the floor, he wasn't looking to shoot. He was looking to set up teammates. Guys were getting good looks because of what he did. And what about the shots that he did take? You feel good about,
I did. I'm going to be real honest with you. I did a bad job communicating with Elijah Brown. And that's my fault. And, each kid's different. I did a bad job communicating with him. I think we're on the same page now. We've had good discussions for 3 days, lengthy discussions. I did a bad job communicating what I expected and what I wanted. I think he knows now. But my expectations and what I want from him that I didn't communicate is for him to be the best player he possibly can be. It has nothing to do with me. I want him to play up to his capabilities and reach his dreams, but there's a way I have to coach him, and there's some expectations and standards that I got to uphold him to that's different than anybody on my team, because I know what he wants to be, I know what he wants to become, I know what he wants to do, and I've been there. I've played there, I've coached there, but he has to do it the right way to improve as a player, not only as a player, as a man. And that's my job, no matter if he's mad at me, if we have a little riff, which we don't, which everybody thinks we do. I have to do what's best for Elijah Brown to make him the man that he can become and the player that he can become.
Well said, Coach. Well said. I think now, looking at these teams and how you guys are compete, I almost feel like it's going to be like this every night in conference play.
I think our guys are really locked in.
Yeah.
We had a really good practice on Christmas night. I did a unique thing. I put all the trophies in the locker room. I put all my rings in the locker room, and I put up there, I said, we are capable of winning every game. We have the talent in this room to win every game. We have the talent in the room to compete for a championship, and we have the talent in the room to win a Mountain West tournament championship. We are capable, but you have to do it together. And it's nothing better to win when people are doubting you. And, I think our guys, I think they're pretty excited. I think they know our fans are behind them. And I think they know I'm behind them. But I got to continue to do what I think is best for our team, and I think our guys have grown.
One of the hardest things, I think, for a coach is something that you just touched on when you're talking about communication with Elijah Brown is there's 15 different personalities that you're dealing with.
Yeah, Robert, it was my fault. It was my fault. I can look in the mirror and say it was my fault. And I told him it was my fault. And I did a bad job. And they're all different. And some guys you think are certain ways, some guys you're not. If you don't, you can't think each kid is a certain way until you spend a lot of time with them. And I've spent a lot of time with my kids. But kids are kids. They're still 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old kids. They have bravado about them. They have confidence about them because if they didn't have that, they wouldn't be here. Mm-hmm. But still, every kid's sensitive. Every kid wants to know where they stand. Every kid wants to be told good things, bad things, but they just want somebody to care about them. I think all my kids know I care about them. I love all of them. But I did a poor job communicating with Elijah Brown.
Going forward, I noticed you shortened your bench.
Yep.
How do you keep those Jefferson and Joe Furstinger, the guys who didn't get to play?
Well, I just told them their time's going to come.
Okay.
We're going to need them.
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be some times where, Damian, I had a good rotation going. I brought Elijah off the bench, so it's a little harder. I think once I put Elijah back in the starting lineup, Damian will be that guy that gets some backup minutes. Then I'll have Sam and Dane. Then I got a pretty good solid rotation, and then we'll see how it goes with size with Joe and X. So Joe will be ready. Joe's locked. Joe's energy's there. Joe was a heck of a teammate tonight. I just told those guys they got to be ready. It's bad for Anthony because he's in a numbers crunch. It's bad for Ahir. He had a chance. I just don't think he's ready right now. And that's not saying that he's not going to be, but right now he's just not. So that's just the hard part of being in Division I and having 13 scholarships. It's hard.
I just have to mention X again because for a guy to impact the game in 12 minutes without taking a shot the way that he does, the steal that he had, the opportunity here where he boxes out a 6'9" guy who can jump out of the gym and is as long as an octopus and gets himself a chance to go to the foul line because of a great rebound. You never know when it's going to happen or how, but it's always there.
He just expects so much out of himself, and he wants to be really, really good. And if he'll play like that and star in his role, we'll be really good. And, I got to get him some more minutes. Tim's got to play around 30. So if I can get him 13 more minutes, I almost had to put him in the perimeter because Dane fouled out because I got a lot of perimeter players, but X can play both spots. I'm not afraid to play X at both spots. I played him in Arizona on the wing a little bit. But if he'll continue to star in his role, we got a chance to be really good.
Hunter pointed this out, too, in the first half. Not just the starters.
Hunter's really observant.
Oh, he's right on.
I mean, he's a basketball guy.
Not just the
he's thinking
starters.
ahead of both of you and I.
Not just the starters, but even the guys that came off the bench tonight. When they were ready out of the gate, like O's first shot, took it confidently, made it. Dane's first 2 shots, took them confidently, made it. Jordan Hunter came off the bench, made 2 big jump shots. Everybody, the confidence off the break, whatever happened over the last 3-4 days, they really looked terrific coming out of the shoot here tonight, I thought.
It's amazing if you give guys confidence and give guys support, what they'll do for you. And when you can let them go and just tell them to play with confidence. And that's all I put on. I mean, just have fun, play with passion. You're going to make shots. You're going to make plays. Play to your strengths. You know, I've just tried to be really positive with the group after that last game against Arizona and didn't even show them any film. I just was really positive coming into this game. Hey, it's a 0-0 slate. We got as good a chance as anybody. And, you know, I'm just trying to get them to believe. And I think they believe in each other, and I believe in them. So hopefully we'll continue to play good basketball.
All right, on to Viejas.
Yep.
To start the new year.
It's fine.
All right, Coach Steve,
All right,
congratulations.
thanks, you guys. I
Thanks,
appreciate
Coach.
you.
Lobo head coach Craig Neal, the Delta Dental Coaches comments brought to you by Delta Dental of New Mexico. Almost 400,000 New Mexicans covered by Delta Dental plans. For more info, log on to deltadentalnm.com.